Holding this hearing, and to the panelists, every single one of you, thank you, because this is exactly what I've been hearing in Nevada around our challenges when it comes to affordable housing. And we all know it runs in my state from homelessness to low income to workforce housing. It is all of the above. And so I have been working with so many in my state to figure out what is it that we need to do to address affordable housing. And so there's some great legislation that I support here, that I'm a co-sponsor, that we need to get done. And I'm hopeful that in this committee we are able to actually do something. But one piece of legislation that I introduced, and Ms. Bell, I'm going to start with you because I can thank you enough for mentioning it in your opening, which is the Affordable Housing Bond Enhancement Act, S4445. And what it does is it improves the mortgage revenue bonds and mortgage credit certificate programs. You've talked a little bit about that. Can you do me a favor? Can you explain how the mortgage revenue bonds help low and moderate income families, help them buy homes and sustain those homes?
Absolutely, and thank you for your leadership on this, Senator Cortez Masto. So essentially, the Affordable Housing Bond Enhancement Act would allow state housing finance agencies to better utilize our bond resources to serve more home buyers. So in using the mortgage revenue bonds, state housing finance agencies, we have been able to help over 3 million borrowers, and the mortgage credit certificate programs have been able to help more than 360,000 families become homeowners. That is significant. And also within this particular bill, it would also be able to help us optimize programs so that they even work better for low and moderate income families as well. At this particular time, and we've talked a little bit about it already at this committee, when we have rising interest rates and lack of affordable ownership homes, the reality is that dream of home ownership is feeling further and further away, and even in my own family, that has been a reality. One of the other facets of the bill, Senator, that I think is really important to elevate, that I was happy to see in this, is an increase to the mortgage revenue bond improvement loan limit. So this increases it to $50,000 as it currently stands. It's at $15,000, which I believe has not been updated since the early 1980s. So we're talking about home improvements, necessary improvements. Particularly, we talked about it earlier as we think about our aging community and thinking about improvements and modifications that need to make the home not only livable, but this is also about quality of life.
Thank you. And I just thank you for the support. And let me just say, and I appreciate the support of the National Council of State Housing Agencies, the National Association of Realtors, the Mortgage Bankers Association, National Association of Home Builders, and other organizations for their support of this piece of legislation. I do think it is an all-of-the-above approach. How do we make it pencil out for the home builders? How do we help the home buyers? How do we give them choices? Manufacturing homes, believe me, this is an area that I've focused on as well, more choices for homeowners as we address all of these issues. One other area, let me just touch on very briefly, because I know I'm going to run out of time. But I do believe that the state and local fiscal relief funds that were provided in the American Rescue Plan really provides the ability to make a historic investment in desperately needed housing and communities across our country. So let me just say this. I would love to hear, maybe Ms. Wade, your thoughts on the Lifeline Act, because this is an opportunity to take funds that are already there, leverage them to support low-income housing.
Absolutely, and I do think that it would be a very important use of this funding. Mm-hmm. It would significantly increase the ability of states and local jurisdictions to produce more affordable housing. I believe Congress has already stated that a lot of these COVID relief funds at the state and local level should be used for affordable housing. So pairing that better with a program like the low-income housing tax credit would certainly be a huge step forward in that direction. Yeah, and I listen, Nevada's governor and our housing leaders support the legislative fix to use really $500 million that we set aside from our Home Means Nevada initiative to do just this. We could use it to build more of a supply for low-income housing in Nevada, and everybody's ready to do it. So this is an opportunity for us to get it right. So this is why I support the Lifeline Act. And then for the reasons that you've all been talking about, the low-income housing tax credit.
This is the number one thing I also hear as a fix that is potential for increasing our housing supply and addressing our needs in Nevada and across the country. Thank you all again. Thank you for the good work that you do.